Hello, welcome to this special roundtable discussion in today's episode of Chongqing Opportunity. Our discussion today will be focused on the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, RCEP, which was formally signed on November the 15th, 2020. ASEAN joined hands with China, Japan, South Korea, Australia and New Zealand to finally establish the largest free trade zone worldwide, following 31 rounds of official deliberations over 8 years. As the geographical location of Chongqing is close to ASEAN, with convenient logistics and transportation, bilateral trade, imports and exports have continued to grow. Therefore, our theme today is the cooperation opportunities between Chongqing and ASEAN under the RCEP. We will discuss how cooperation and developments between Chongqing and ASEAN will progress under the enhanced convenience and freedom the RCEP promotes. So first of all, I would like to invite our distinguished guest, Mr. Wan, to introduce yourself and also say something about your company.
Thanks, James. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm ZJ Wan from SOKON Group. It's great to be here to participate in this roundtable discussions. You know, SOKON Group is a car manufacturer. At present, we have two main brands, DFSK and Series. Have three main products categories: the medium commercial vehicles, passenger SUV, and the new energy vehicles.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Wan. So next I would like to invite Mr. Tony Wen to say something about yourself and also introduce your company.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm Tony Wen, the Deputy General Manager of Chongqing Import and Export Company. My job in my company is being in charge of the investment and some international trade business. Let me give a brief introduction about Chongqing China base. Our company was founded in 1985. After a series reformation, our company now become a mixed-owned company. Our company, the main business is international trade, but also involved in other business fields. More than 30 years development, the business has covered over 30 countries and with an annual import and export amount hundreds of million US dollar. Okay, we come to here to introduce our company and hope we can cooperate with all the partners from all the world. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to the show today. Next, I'd like to invite Mrs. Christine Liu to introduce herself and her company.
Okay, hello James, and hello everyone. I'm Christine. I'm from the Chongqing Council for Promotion and International Trade. I worked in legal department law, engaged in certificate of origin and business certifications. As you know, the CCPIT is a trade and investment promotion agency which provides international trade service for enterprise. That's okay?
Okay, thank you very much and welcome. And finally, I'd like to invite Mr. Alex Wei to introduce himself and also say something about his company.
Thanks, James. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex Wei, Tax Associate Director with PwC Chongqing Office, and I'm the Tax High Potential City Champion in charge of tax practice in Chongqing also. PwC was the very first international accounting firm establishing its office in Chongqing in late 1990s. We have been serving a lot of multinational corporations in exploring business opportunities and further developments in the region since then. We also assisted a lot of leading domestic companies for IPO listing on overseas and the domestic stock exchanges. In recent years, we have been providing a lot of professional advisories for different levels of government agencies on the topics of such as annual performance review on pilot purchase zone, business environment improvement and assessment, and also industry-specific promotion policy consulting. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and welcome to all of our distinguished guests to the show today. So the first question I would like us to discuss today is the level of trade cooperation that SOKON Group and also Chongqing China-based Import and Export Co. Limited has had with ASEAN countries in recent years, and with RCEP coming up, what is the current state of imports and exports? So first of all, I'd like to invite Mr. Wan to give his thoughts on this question.
Thank you, James. SOKON Group started the first unit export in 2005. Until today, we have been exported to more than 70 countries and regions, including South America, Africa, Middle East, Europe, South Asia, with the total volume of 300,000 units. With total volume of 330,000 units. Nowadays, we have more than 600 networks globally. We rank the first in the segment of mini commercial vehicles and 7-seat passenger SUV. But more important for SOKON Group is we have obtained the European certificates for our electric vehicles for the Series 3, the first model. We started sales in the whole Europe now. And about the cooperation with the ASEAN countries, actually we started very early, I think 30 years ago, but many concentrate in 6 countries: Indonesia, Thailand, the Philippines, Malaysia, Myanmar, and Vietnam, but not in bigger quantities. Normally, we cooperate with them on the SKD or CKD project in order to save some import duties. And we send the kits and the parts to them. They assemble there, so which requires our partners have the ability to assemble locally. Last year, with the cooperation in ASEAN, we grew 30%, and we can expect the same growth rate as well this year.
Okay, so as I understand then, I suppose there hasn't been so much trade in recent years, but with the RCEP coming up, there's great potential for growth between Chongqing and trade with those countries. Okay, and also how about the experience of China base? What are your thoughts on this question?
Okay, thank you, James. The ASEAN countries here, for us, for our company, is a very important market. In recent years, every year we export chemical products more than $15 million US. The destination countries include Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. But up till now, we haven't imported the products from ASEAN the countries. This is our problem. This is our shortage because we need to balance the import and export. So our next step, the homework, is to continue to increase the export, and then in the meantime, find some suitable products in other countries and import it to China. Actually, now we are exploring a possibility to import the silicon sands, coal, seafoods, and some the traditional medicine material from Indonesia to China. Hope we can start the business as soon as possible.
So just thinking, like some of those countries, so maybe like Myanmar or Laos, do you think the RCEP agreements will make it possible for you to break into those markets?
For us, yes. Actually, we started looking for the partnership over there, but this country is quite poor, and for the auto industry, it's not so well developed. So we normally export the CBU directly to the country, and with the signing of the RCEP, definitely we are going to reduce the import duty. We help we go out.
Great. Okay, so we also understand that SOKON regards the Southeast Asian market with great importance. So in early 2018, SOKON Group established the SOKON Indonesia factory. Is that right?
Yes.
So what plans and timetables does SOKON Group have for strengthening trade cooperation with ASEAN countries once the RCEP comes into effect?
Actually, the ASEAN, as we all know, is already become the 5th biggest economy in the world, and with the great potentials. and 3.4 million vehicles sold last year. And it will keep growing in coming years. We can definitely see that. And that's why we SOKON Group always taking the ASEAN market as our most important strategic market. That's why in 2014, our group decided to invest $150 million to build a modern factory in Indonesia with the 4 main production process: the stamping, welding, painting, and assembly. The top design production capacity of this factory is 50,000 units. Now it's already in production. How can we do with the sign after the signing of the RCEP? We think at least we can divide it into 2 steps. In the first step, we need to take good use of the Indonesia factory. We are trying to reach the localization of this factory, not only supply the Indonesian market. When we reach the certain percentage of the localization, we can enjoy the import duty free, and we can freely to export to other countries in ASEAN. But this takes time. And currently, in this Indonesia factory, we have 2 models and we have 3 models in production. The SUV 2 models: Glory 580, Glory 560, and 1 mini truck, the Super Cab, the M415. And we also started the export from the Indonesia factory directly to Vietnam, Thailand, and some other countries as well. So the second step, at the same time, if the product we don't produce in Indonesia factory, we will keep bringing from China directly to the country, so we can keep strengthening the cooperation with the ASEAN countries.
We've also got 2 other guests as well that have been waiting very patiently over there. So I have a question that I'd like to hear your thoughts on. So the RCEP requires that 15 member countries all reduce tariffs, open their markets, and also lower their standard trade barriers. So what I'd like us to discuss is what assistance will the signing of RCEP offer for outgoing enterprises wishing to expand into overseas markets when it comes to breaking down these interregional trade barriers? So perhaps, Alex Wei, could you start for us?
Thanks, James. According to RCEP, about 90% of the trading goods will have their tariff reduction in the future. Some tariff lines will be eliminated immediately, while the others will have duties removed over a period of time. Major industry will be affected would be those traditionally have high duty rates, like the agriculture, food, consumer goods, and automotive.
Thank you very much. And also, what about the perspective for the China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, Chongqing Committee?
Yes, CCPH Chongqing is mainly committed to economical and trade cooperation between Chongqing and other countries, including ASEAN. We had been constructing multi and bilateral industrial and commercial cooperation mechanism, which established 19 bilateral and multilateral industrial commercial cooperation mechanism. Also, we had built the exhibition forum and other cooperation promotion platforms, such as we have successfully held the East Asia Business Council meeting of China and international motorcycle export and other exports. We organized the enterprise to participate the China ASEAN export, which provide largely a relationship between enterprise and other members. We provide a total number about 578 early warnings of international economical and trade conflicts. The most important thing is we strengthen the basic legal service, such as the economical and trade dispute mediation and international business certification service. In past few years, we held a total 61 seminars, online or offline. Last September, in a professional online seminar between China and ASEAN, the maximum number of the watching people reached to 4,500 within a day. In past 3 years, a total number of 53,000 international business certifications has been issued to Chongqing companies. The International Commercial Arbitration Center has been also set up in Chongqing Pilot Free Trade Zone. It can handle the commercial disputes between enterprise and others in timely, efficient, and secure manners.
So the signing of RCEP is going to have a lot of benefits for solving the potential for economic conflicts between the countries. Okay, and will that be the case also for Chongqing China base?
Now, our company is pushing the investment project in Vietnam. The project is a modern mushroom producer plant with a 1 year they yield more than 20,000. About the project, we have got the approval from the China government, but we are waiting for the approval from Vietnam government. But the speed is not fast. So we think after the signing of RCEP, maybe the approval speed will become more faster, and maybe we can get more facilitation of investment facilitation in Vietnam market. So I think the signing of RCEP gave us the more investment confidence in Vietnam. So this is a good news, I think, for us. Thank you.
Okay, and how about the situation of SOKON?
Yeah. My fellows are sharing the experience and opinions from their perspective. And from auto industry, I can definitely say there are 5 benefits from the signing of the RCEP. First of all, because the members promised to reduce the tariff barriers and non-tariff barrier, keep improving the trade facilitation, and also develop the e-commerce. This will definitely enlarge the trade scale of imports and export for the cars and the parts, for the retail sales and after-sales service, the market. So this is the big. And the secondly, it will definitely help all those the enterprise to put the investment directly in the country, inside the ASEAN. With the signing of the RCEP, I think more and more government will issue a lot of the good incentives to attract those foreign investments to do locally. So thirdly, I think this will be very good for Chinese the new energy vehicle segment. With the signing of the RCEP, our new energy vehicle now is in the leading place in the world. So we definitely have a lot of advantages. When the market open, we may get the key to the door. So firstly, I think the one concept of the RCEP is going to promoting the certificate of origin. This will help us a lot as a manufacturer. For example, we invested a factory in Indonesia. We have to reach a certain percentage of the localization, like 40%, 50%, 60%. But in the past, we have to do all the localization in Indonesia. But when this rules applied, so we may be considered to import the maybe 10% of the localization parts from the Vietnam, Thailand, other member countries could be also considered as one part of localization. So this will make our life easier. Lastly, I think also most important for us, because we are in this industry for many years. We are dealing with more than 70 countries. Each country has their own technical standard. So one of the main concepts of the RCEP is to unify the same technical standard. So for example, in the past, when we go to Japan, go to Korea, go to Thailand, Indonesia, all requires a different technical standard. which really takes a huge cost and time for the manufacturer. In this concept, we meet in together to have the one same technical standard, or we can recognize each other's country's standard. Or maybe even we can take the one standard, like the European standard, or American standard, Korean standard, or Chinese national standard, as the same standard for all the players. So this will definitely save a lot of time and cost for us.
He introduced about the certificate or regional rules. Okay, that's very important for the international business. Now I have a sample for our business. For example, now when we export our chemical products to Indonesia, we must arrange the direct shipment can't transship in Malaysia or Singapore. That's why, because once we transship, okay, the Indonesia, the import country, cannot admit the certificate of origin issued by China. That means we can't enjoy the preferential treatment that we should enjoy. But after signing of the RCEP, all the members of the RCEP can enjoy the same treatment according to the new or certificate of regional rules. So I think that means we'll promote the sign of RCEP will promote the business, because it helps us to reduce the international trade cost. So I think that's good news for all the countries to do the business.
Okay, so I understand. So that's going to make trade cooperation a lot easier if everybody's using the same basic set of rules.
Yes.
I add some
please.
one sentence. It sets the original content rules so that the intermediate products will be sourced from any of 15 countries. That's a very important thing for the RCEP market countries.
Great. So I have another question for Christine Liu from the Trade Promotion Committee. So once the RCEP has passed, what is the next step for the Chongqing Trade Promotion Council in import and export trade between Chongqing and ASEAN?
First, CCPH Chongqing strive to establish relations with the major associations, corporations with ASEAN countries to ensure smooth channels for foreign corporations. Secondly, CCPH Chongqing will establish the Chongqing Commodity Exhibition and Sales Center in ASEAN countries in 3 to 5 years. Also, we will hold the Chongqing Commodity Roving Exhibition. Thirdly, CCPH Chongqing will play a crucial role of about 3 centers: arbitration, mediation, and FTA service. We plan to cover the comprehensive training of all FTA agreements in 3 years, especially RCEP. Okay. The most important thing is the CCPH Chongqing want to improve the utilization rate of FTA. I can give an example to you. The utilization rate FTA in Korea, it comes to more than 90%, but in China, less than 15%. So I think in a total world, the CCPH Chongqing aim to help the enterprise to respond to the risk caused by the policy adjustment and tariff barriers. That's the most task for us.
So I have another question for Alex Wei. So the status of Chongqing as an inland open island not only brings the advantages of the new Western Land Sea Corridor and China-Europe Railway Express, but more importantly, the support of major platforms such as the Lianjiang New Area, Chongqing High Tech Zone, the China-Singapore project, and the Chongqing Pilot Free Trade Zone, which provide the advantages of being a hub and industrial centre. So from your perspective, what influence will the signing of RCEP have on the open platform in Chongqing?
Okay, thanks, James. The existing trade corridor and the signing of RCEP will help Chongqing local and the surrounding area enterprises to be more actively involved in international economic cooperation and also boost the deep integration among of transport, logistics, and the economy. It will boost the export of goods from Chongqing, especially for those enterprises located in these open platforms to ASEAN countries, and vice versa. It would also make the customers of ASEAN countries more reachable to afford the Chongqing enterprises. And it would be expected that a common market will form after the RCEP comes into force later on. And it also should bring more investments from ASEAN countries to Chongqing so that they can capture the competitive advantages and preferential policies in Chongqing area.
But continuing on that basis, I also know that Chongqing is speeding construction of the mainland International Finance Centre with a focus towards Southeast Asia. So from this perspective, what opportunities of signing the RCEP will this bring for Chongqing?
Okay, actually before the signing of RCEP, Chongqing has already been starting cooperation with Singapore, especially in related to the financial sectors. And actually, according to some Chinese officials' remarks recently, China is committed to open further in the financial sectors, especially for banking and insurance. And also, China has welcomed companies with expertise in, say, risk management, health insurance, and pension management, etc., to establish their business in China. And after the signing of the RCEP, Chongqing is definitely will be a preferred destination for the companies such as, especially have the expertise in these areas. Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much. And we've already talked a lot about automobiles like today, but let's take a look at some other products that will be very popular in the ASEAN area. So if you take the example of, say, cosmetics, electrical appliances, and foodstuffs, clothing, and tropical fruits, is it reasonable to expect that these commodities will become cheaper for Chongqing citizens after the RCEP comes into effect?
Definitely, I can give you several details. After signing the RCEP, the import tax on durian, pitaya, and longan can reduce from 20% to 0. On mango and mangosteen also reduce from 15% to 0 in first year. For seafood such as shrimp, Atlantico, salmon, or salon will be reduced to 0. So we can make full use of the condition of the import tax reduction to optimize the import chain for resource-based products and agricultural products. In terms of electronicals, Chongqing imports a large number of integrated circuits from South Korea and Malaysia every year. After the import reduction of the tax, I think it will be important the market of the electronic information industry.
I think the import products must be more cheaper. Just now I introduced our company. We didn't import the import products from other countries. but actually we have imported the lamb, beef, and milk from New Zealand and Australia. Before, the two countries is not belongs to the ASEAN countries, but now it belongs to the RCEP countries, member countries. That means they can enjoy the same treatment. It means according to the RCEP agreement, the import duty will reduce to zero step by step. So opportunity, the import products will be cheaper. I think that's a good news for Chongqing citizens. Let me show you a sample. This is the UHT milk we import from Australia. Now the import duty is 6%. But after the sign of the RCEP agreement, according to the agreement, the import duty will reduce to zero very soon. So it become the more cheaper. So that's a good news for all of us. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, that's really impressive. That's how it's all reduced to 0%. Yeah, and I suppose in the very near future, then we can expect to see cheaper products from all of these countries, and a big variety as well in our supermarkets, and also perhaps the ASEAN purchasing city as well in Chongqing. Also, building on that. Over the last year, I mean, the global economy has fallen into recession because of the pandemic. We've seen that in many countries, with China being an exception in 2020. So a question that I'm really interested in is what positive effects will the RCEP agreement have on a global economic recovery?
Okay. The positive effect on global economy is obvious. At present, the ultimate goals for various types of free trade zone, I think, is to promote more free and open new rules for the international economy and trade. RCEP basically represents the direction in international trade in current and future. I can give you a paper from the Peterson Institute, which is in Russia. It shows that the RCEP will raise the global GDP in 2030 by an annual of $186 billion. That's a huge numbers, more than CPTPP. So I think RCEP just like a platform. If it goes well, and more countries join it, such as I can give an example. Up with signing of the RCEP, I can see the labor intensive industry will be gradually transferred to Southeast Asia countries in a short term, but for a long term, maybe will transport to the lower labor cost countries such as Africa. We also think that for the capital intensive industry, we not only consider the labor cost, but also should consider the distribution of supply chain industry. So that's my suggestion.
Okay, and finally, also from the perspective of China-based and SOKON as well, I mean, what impacts have the pandemic had on the countries you deal with, and do you expect the signing of the RCEP will have any positive effect?
For us, actually, we are suffering from the pandemic situation, especially for our market in South America. We have the 50% drop last year. But for the other countries, like in ASEAN countries and in Africa, in Middle East, in Europe, dramatically, we are increased a lot. We can also see a lot of opportunities because of those emerging the economy. And we can even we have the pandemic situation when the people suffer, we have a big number of the unemployment, and our vehicles, because we have the mini commercial vehicles. So this is like a making machine, like a money making machine, like tools for the peoples, for the workers, for those unemployment people. So we can see the good strengths of this. And besides, we are strengthening the cooperation with other ASEAN countries under the RCEP agreement. So this will help us to grow a lot. We can see a very good future in coming years.
Okay, so at this point then, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to all of our distinguished guests today. So thank you very much. And for audience as well, I hope you have enjoyed our latest special episode of Chongqing Opportunity. That is the end of our roundtable discussion today. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.